Well, good Tuesday morning. Now, for the last year or so, we were having uh, Parking Lot Tuesday. Well, for a while, I think it'll be Parking Lot Wednesday for a while. So I'm here all alone. I'm not all. Constance is in the next room, uh, but it's just me this morning. Uh, and what I've got here's a beautiful, beautiful painting of Rahur Kuwait or Rahur Kut or Huraraki. But anyway, somebody had posted on Facebook, and it somehow got onto my on to my feed. They had this a similar picture, if not this very one, of Rahur Kut uh, or Rahur Kuit, and it said, "Did you think I was kidding?" Which is sort of a it's not much of an in joke. It's pretty much a ironic joke. The third chapter of the Book of the Law, which Crowley channeled in 1904, before World War One, before World War Two, before Korea, before the H bomb, before the Cold War, before uh, Vietnam, before Ukraine, before Iran, Afghanistan, before all of those things in 1904. Okay, the Book of the Law was channeled, and it Crowley doesn't take credit for the contents of it because it was a received document, and Crowley never claimed to fully understand it himself. Okay, and but Rahul Kuwait here, who did you think I was kidding, is the main speaker, if you will, of the third chapter. First chapter is the beautiful goddess Nuit. Okay, beautiful goddess Nuit. Okay, bending over. She's the night sky of the infinite stars are in her body. And then Hadit is the winged solar disk there. And he's the second chapter. But the third chapter is this guy. There's Rahul Kuwait there. And he doesn't come alone. He comes with a friend. No, he comes with a brother, a twin brother, who's kind of just the opposite in character and temperament. Okay, and that's Hurpakrat or Harpocrates. That's the little kid there, the baby god of innocence and silence. Rahul Kuwait's wild and crazy and vengeful. Now, these are cosmic qualities. So they're not personal. They're not virtues or vices. They're cosmic principles. And one of the big cosmic principles is decay, destruction, annihilation. The Hindus have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, or well, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, creator, sustainer, destroyer. That's how things go. It's the Gnostics. You could sort of project those same qualities to the Gnostic god Iao, Isis, Apophis, Osiris, slain and risen. Uh, it's part of life. It's part of the process. And to deny that it's part of the process is to be in a fatal state of denial. Now, the gods that are represented and speaking in the book of the law, Nuit in the first chapter, Hadit in the second chapter, and Rahur Kuit in the third chapter, aren't necessarily giving advice on your behavior in life in any given day. Okay. They're talking about the forces, the triune forces that are currently in play in the cosmos. And the first one is really cool, and you got to admit there's really cool shit happening. And the second one is very pragmatic. Okay. And the third one is so wild and crazy that it even freaked Crowley out. But when you think about a book that was dictated in 1904 from wherever, you can say that Rose channeled it and Crowley wrote it down, or Crowley heard it, or it was automatic writing, no matter what, it has been taken and it has been interpreted, I guess, if you will. And it has to be interpreted by each individual. If anybody tries to interpret it for you, including me, say fuck you, okay? But dig into it yourself, okay? The Tower card, right here. Now, the Book of the Law, Crowley heard the phrase in one of the verses of the Book of the Law about the house of God. Now, the house of God is the title of the Tower card. And in a short digression, when he heard that, Crowley thought to himself, gee, I wonder if the tarot trumps are in the right order, or if the attributes, Golden Dawn attributes were correct. And whoever the intelligence that was dictating, if you want to call it that, stopped in mid-sentence and answered that mental question, said, all these old letters of my book are right, but Sadi is not the star. Okay, and that set off the whole modern tarot Kabbalah debate. But anyway, it's called the House of God. And it is also called the Blasted Tower. The House of God, the Blasted Tower. Now, if flying saucer people came down in your living room while you're watching TV and said, excuse me for a second, I gotta ask a question here of you as an Earth person, in knowing the world around you and everything else. I want to ask you a couple of questions. If the circumstances of world events all around you, are things going okay? And you said, no, there's just wars. There's wars all over the place, okay? And there's people that are just homeless. They're all over the place here. Not only that, but the climate, okay? It's out of control. We've screwed up the planet, okay? There's lots of stuff. There are people dying all over there, and starvation and genocides, and it's really shit. There's good stuff too. Late night comedy. Okay, there's a couple good things. Not only that, but as helpless as I feel in all of this shit that's going on, I feel oddly empowered to be myself. And if I don't, but I've got a neighbor over there that doesn't feel empowered to be himself. As a matter of fact, he's just almost hypnotically willing to be told what to do and what to think. Okay, but I feel um, almost perversely empowered to be myself. And then the flying saucer person would ask you, well, if you would describe that situation as a god, would it be a nice, fluffy, uh, beneficent, father or beneficent mother or anything else? Well, right now, no. If I was going to characterize, if I was going to project all of these qualities onto a god, I'd say he's a wild and crazy one. And if I was educated enough to say, I think it'd be like the Hindu Shiva part. I think it would be like the Egyptian Apophis type, the destructive thing, because that's what seems to be going on. Go back to an incredibly old book, the I Ching, and you'd see that in 64 separate little comments on fractals of reality. There's tons of them that are tearing down, decay, okay, and building up, and construction, and everything in between. But if you would say, paint a picture of the deity that's in charge of this phase of human consciousness, what would it be? That would be the third chapter. Okay. Third chapter is not telling me, not giving me license to go out and eat people's flesh. But it's saying there's flesh eating going on. Okay. Here's what Crowley has to say about the card that's called the House of God. And if you look at that, well, there's an Eye of Shiva going on right there. This is one of the most cubist and sort of abstract of the Harris's tarot cards. The Tarot of Ceremonial Magic, I just come right out in front and put Shiva right on the cover of the Blasted Tower. Even the qliphothic sigil of it shows a tower. Okay. Here's what Crowley has to say about the tower. This card is, maybe I'll just hold it up if we can, if it doesn't make you seasick. This card is attributed to the letter Pe, which means a mouth. It refers to the planet Mars. In its simplest interpretation, it refers to the manifestation of cosmic energy in its grossest form. Now, you could almost say, if you wanted to sound kind in your description to the flying saucer person of life on planet Earth at the moment, if you wanted to be kind and diplomatic, you would say, it's a manifestation of cosmic energy in its grossest form. The picture shows the destruction of existing material by fire. It may be taken as a preface to Atu 20, and that is the Judgment card, or in this case, the Aeon. Okay, that's fire. It used to be the last judgment. Gabriel blowing his horn, or Israfel blowing his horn, and dead people coming out of the ground like zombies. Okay. It may be taken as a preface to Atu 20, the last judgment. In other words, the coming of the new Aeon, of a new Aeon. This being so, it seems to indicate the quintessential quality of the Lord of the Aeon. So, it's the quintessential quality of the Lord of the Aeon. Not that it's good or comfortable for you, but it's the principal quality at the moment. At the bottom of the card, therefore, is shown the destruction of the old established Aeon by lightning. Flames, engines of war. In the right-hand corner are the jaws of Dis, belching flame at the root of this structure. Falling from the tower are broken figures of the garrison. It will be noticed that they've lost their human shape. They have become mere geometric expressions. This suggests another and totally different interpretation. He turns the card of the card. To understand this, it is necessary to refer to the doctrines of yoga, especially those widely current in southern India, where the cult of Shiva, the destroyer, is paramount. Shiva is represented as dancing upon the bodies of his devotees. Just imagine a supine devotee under his foot there, or its foot there. Okay. To understand this is not easy for most Western minds, and neither is the third chapter. Briefly, the doctrine is that the ultimate reality, which is perfection, is nothingness. Now remember, this is Hindu. Hence, all manifestation, however glorious, however delightful, are stains. To obtain perfection, all existing things must be annihilated. The destruction of the garrison may therefore be taken to mean their emancipation from the prison of organized life, which was confining them. It was their unwisdom to cling to it. The above should make it clear that magical symbols must always be understood in a double sense, each contradictory of the other. These ideas blend naturally with the higher and deeper significance of the card. There is a direct reference to this card in the Book of the Law, chapter 1, verse 57, where the goddess Nuit speaks, quote, "Invoke me under my stars. Love is the law, love under will. Nor let the fools mistake love, for there are love and love. There is the dove, and there is the serpent. Choose ye well. He, my prophet, hath chosen, knowing the law of the fortress and the great mystery of the house of God." And there you see, there is the dove, and there is the serpent. Choose ye well. They're on opposite sides of the card, but neither, the dove is not trying to pick the serpent to death, and the serpent isn't trying to sting the dove. They're both on the card. Let's see. The dominating feature of this card is the Eye of Horus. This is also the Eye of Shiva. On the opening of which, according to the legend of this cult, the universe is destroyed. The universe is created like this. Pick one eye and look at it. Universe is created like this. And it's destroyed like this. Okay. Besides this, there is a special technical magical meaning is explained openly only to initiates of the 11th degree of the OTO, a grade so secret it is not even listed in the official documents. Well, Crowley's being extra guarded because he lived through an incredible couple thousand years of extremely narrow interpretation of what is proper sex. Okay. And the Hebrew letter Pei there has always been kind of esoterically referred to or intimated that it is representative of alternate pleasure centers. Okay, that still activate same Kundalini energy. Usually an alternate one near the base of the spine. Okay, so, and he's being only the 11th degree OTO. Yeah, just turn on the television. You kind of get an idea of what's going on. Okay. It is not even to be understood by the study of the eye in Out 215, and that's Out 215 there, the devil card. Okay, so he's, you know what he's getting at there. It's no big thing. Perhaps it's lawful to mention that the Arab sages and the Persian poets have written not always guardedly on the subject. Now, it almost seems charming how Crowley thinks. Well, actually, probably in the 40s when he wrote this, he still wanted to be very guarded about things like that. Bathed in the effulgence of this eye, which now assumes an even third sense, that indicated in Out 215, the devil card, are the dove bearing an olive branch and the serpent, as in the above quotation. The serpent is portrayed as a lion serpent, Sunobis or Abraxas. They represent two forms of desire. Two forms of desire. He's going to drag in Schopenhauer here. What Schopenhauer would have called the will to live and the will to die. They represent the feminine and masculine impulses. The nobility of the latter is possibly based upon the recognition of the futility of the former. This is perhaps why the renunciation of love in the ordinary sense of the word has been so constantly announced as the first step toward initiation. This is an unnecessarily rigid view. This trump is not the only card in the pack, nor are the will to live and the will to die incompatible. This becomes clear as soon as life and death are understood as phases of a single manifestation of energy. And to that one, he refers to the card that follows, the star. Anyway, that's my little comment on, did you think I was joking? So now I'm not taking that as being resigned or complacent about my role, my duty in any given situation. But when it comes to throwing around comments about a book such as the Book of the Law and the Mysteries of the Third Chapter, you would be wise to pull back your camera and get a wide enough shot, a wide enough view of where all of this is being played out on a cosmic scale. Well, that's it for today. Tomorrow will probably be Wednesday, Parking Lot Wednesday, and Constance will probably have something wise to tell us. That's all I can say. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.